What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We've got some interesting news coming down the pipeline from World of Warships, and this is concerning the German destroyer split. Now, I've covered these ships in the past. I went over the stats. Couldn't show you gameplay, can't do that right now, and as soon as I can, I will, because I like destroyers, and I would love to see German destroyers come back to a level of supremacy that they once had, which has been far overclipped and power crept by subsequent releases of different lines, but I don't know that that's going to happen, and I have my concerns with the German destroyers at this point. I really do, especially with these changes just announced from World of Warships. So I'm going to cover them right now and just kind of tell you the implications of this and what I think. So we'll start with the Tier 10 Elbing. And all these changes are going to center around torpedoes. So the parameters that were changed, the range has been increased from 8 kilometers to 13.5 kilometers. Now at first you might be saying, hey, this is awesome. I like longer range torpedoes. This is really going to help this ship out. Well, not so fast. Hold on there, cowboy. The speed of these torpedoes has been reduced from 65 knots to 50. So, you've gone from decently speeded, you've gone from torpedoes with a decent speed to torpedoes that can't even catch up to some destroyers in the game at this point when they're using speed boost. So, you literally have sea mines. Detectability range has been reduced from 1.3 to 1.2 kilometers. I mean, that's necessary when you've got something moving that slow, but really is that 0.1 kilometer really going to make the difference and help you hit a ship that's fast moving and spots you when it's flying along at 50, well, not flying along, when it's, I guess, trolling along at 50 knots? Yeah. Maximum damage has been increased from 13,700 to 16,533. Well, yeah, I would hope so. I would hope you get a significant boost in damage if you, by some act of God, manage to land one of these torpedoes on a ship other than a battleship or aircraft carrier, or other than being point blank. And even at point blank, I'm not certain you're going to be able to hit your target. I mean, seriously, 50 knots, that's extremely slow. But those are the changes to torpedoes. Moving on to the Tier 9 Felix Schultz, same thing. However, range has been increased from 7.5 kilometers to 12 kilometers, so it's a little less than that of the Elbing. That makes sense, though. It's a Tier 9. Speed reduced once again from 62 to 50 knots. Detectability 1.3 to 1.2 kilometers. And maximum damage the same, 13,700 to 16,533. Are you seeing a trend here? Moving on to the Tier 8 Gustav Julius Merker. Range increased from 7 to 12 kilometers. Speed reduced from 61 to 50 knots. Detectability, once again, 1.3 to 1.2. And same thing with max damage, 13,700 to 16,533. The Tier 7 Z31. Torpedo range increased from 7 to 10 kilometers. Once again, speed reduced from 61 to 50 knots. Detectability 1.3 to 1.2. And same exact thing with the damage, but I'll say it once again, just so it gets embedded in our minds, 13,700 to 16,533. The notes say that the effectiveness of the torpedoes against armored targets will become higher due to their greater damage and range, but their low speed will make it difficult to score hits against maneuverable targets. You think? There were a couple more changes that I'll cover real quick. 3 other ships saw changes. The Tier 7 Weimar main battery firing range has been reduced from 15.4 kilometers to 13.3, pretty significant. Detectability range by sea reduced from 13.8 to 13.1. So they're making this ship a little harder to spot. However, the trade-off is your guns really don't extend further than that detectability. Moving on to the Tier 10 Max Immelmann, the aircraft carrier. Maximum bomb damage from your bombers has been lowered from 12,200 to 11,000. I think most players will rejoice with that. Anytime a CV gets nerfed, most players rejoice. Chances of HE shells causing fire has been lowered from 69% to 63%, and the max torpedo damage of stock and researchable torp bombers has been lowered from 5,330 to 4,767. So once again, another slight nerf. Moving on to the Tier 7 Hyuga. Main battery reload time has been increased from 26 to 28 seconds. Might seem minor. Haven't played it yet. It'll be interesting to see what it does. And lastly, the Tier 10 Italian cruiser Napoli. Dispersion ellipse at long range will increase more than before, and the sigma parameters was reduced from 2.05 to 1.9. Apparently, it was just a little too accurate. So there you have it, some big changes there. 3 other ships other than German destroyers. But the big takeaway from this is I don't know that Wargaming knows what it wants to do with German destroyers, because at first I thought it was just going to be more gun-centric and kind of make these powerful, slower reloading gunboats. However, this little torpedo deal has thrown a wrench in things. Well, not necessarily. I mean, it really doesn't change anything in my opinion. I mean, they're likely going to be just as effective. I mean, instead of shorter range, faster torpedoes, you have slightly longer range, slow torpedoes now. And in fact, if it comes down to a 65 knot 8 kilometer torp versus a 50 knot 12 kilometer torp, I'm probably going to want the 8 kilometer torp. And that's just me, because I know that, you know, in the beginning of the round, I'm not going to use my torps. I'm going to rely on my guns. And then as the game progresses and I move forward slightly, I'm going to use terrain to my advantage and then get those little surprise bonsai torpedo runs on ships. That really can't happen with 50 knot torps. I mean, really, this is just something where if you get close to smoke, you just launch them towards smoke and watch these sea mines slowly creep towards that smoke and hopefully land something. Or hope that a straight line sailing battleship just keeps straight line sailing and is too lazy to move out of the way of your 50 knot torps. I don't know. I don't feel good about these changes really and the direction that these destroyers are going. I had high hopes. I mean, that's maybe me being silly. I know most of you probably didn't. Of course, I remain the eternal optimist, or at least try to, though it becomes hard at times when things like this happen. But, you know, these ships are now reminiscent of the Sims in a way, or at least a slower firing, more powerful in the guns Sims. But you've got sea mines. So we've got German sea mines. And those are the changes to these ships. And I really don't know what to think about this, but I'm interested in what you think about it. What do you think about the German DD split? You DD mains out there, do you plan on playing them? Or are you going to thumb your nose at these 50 knot sea mines? Do you think that it's just not worth it? And, you know, I'm kind of leaning towards that too. I mean, it just seems like they're there. Wargaming doesn't know what really to do with this line. Honestly, I'd love to see this line just kind of shelve for the time being until they can figure out something that pleases everyone and focus on other things that we might need in this game. But that's just me. That's just me. I think, you know, they're going full speed with these, so we'll see them at some point in the future, and hopefully they become enjoyable, and hopefully they will be enjoyable, because the last thing I want to see is German ships that aren't enjoyable, but that seems to be the going theme with German ships right now. So let me know your thoughts in the description of this video, in the comments section. I hope you all are doing wonderful. A lot of you follow me, a lot of you watch these videos, but have not subbed yet. If you're one of those individuals, please sub. That way you get notifications when these go live. Hope you all are doing wonderful. Have a great week. Zoop out.